Right, I'm going to just chuck it out to you guys. Anybody got any questions? Up there, yep.
David, can you describe each of the cast members in a few words?
Describe each of the cast members in a few words? Okay, Alice is beautiful and lovely and charming. And great to work with. A pleasure. Let's see. Well, I guess I should start with Jensen, who's really, truly a very professional, great guy to work with. He has great ideas. He takes it very seriously. He comes prepared. And it's fun to sort of involve him in what improvised things that there are. He's always got some ideas, and a lot of the reactions and the quirks and the looking around and looking up at his mohawk and falling over on the counter and all those little sort of physical things were not in the script, and it was things that he just improvised on the day. So that's always a pleasure for a director to have actors come with great ideas. Clea Duvall played Jen. I had her earmarked for the part from the get-go. From the first time I read the script, I was hoping it would be her. And she did a great job, fit the role perfectly, and had a great time. She normally doesn't do comedy. She's in a lot of kind of heavier, darker indies all the time. So she was excited about that. I guess this is a paragraph about each. Danielle was a total trooper. She played Tish. She was gung-ho to do absolutely anything. She loved the script. She loved the character. She just went all out at every turn. She just never held back and never hesitated and was great in that respect. Elizabeth Arnois, who played Piper, was, let's see, I would describe her as very professional, very particular. She was very concerned about her wardrobe, understandably. And sort of an interesting thing about that was that, now I'm just going to go off on tangents. Do you want to hear all this stuff? She was initially we didn't have a big budget for wardrobe. I think, luckily it doesn't show, but a lot of these clothes are just t-shirts and shorts, and they're bought at like Target and Kmart. And, you know, those are American cheeseball cheap stores like JCPenney's. And she didn't want to look like that. She was very particular about her wardrobe. And luckily, our costume designer and her were the exact same size. And our costume designer...
Not again.
Our costume designer had just done a movie, a pretty sizable movie that Justin Timberlake was in, and a big cast, and she'd gotten a lot of wardrobe from Prada and Dolce & Gabbana and Yves Saint Laurent and all kinds of these gorgeous dresses and stuff that she had from the other movie, and Elizabeth got wind of that, and so suddenly she appears as a college student with some pretty flashy dresses. But I'm glad she did it. She looks great in it, and they did a great job with her wardrobe. Trucker John Doe was great. He's a fun guy to work with. At one point in the scene where we're at Trucker's house, I asked the art department to put a guitar somewhere in his apartment, because I thought that a guy in the 60s and sort of a guy growing up in the Woodstock era would maybe just play guitar, even though in reality, of course, it's John Doe, who's from the band X, who is a full-time professional guitarist and musician. But my hope was that at some point in between takes, he would just grab his guitar and start playing just for us, for the fun of it. So I said, just get a guitar near his chair and see what happens. So the funny thing about that was that then later that night when we were doing the scene, he sort of looked over and he goes, would Trucker have a guitar in his apartment? I said, oh yeah, of course he would. You know, he could play the guitar. He said, I'll tell you this, he wouldn't play that one. That's a little kid's cheap guitar. So it didn't quite pan out. He didn't play a concert for us. Who am I missing? Sean Patrick Flannery. Same great guy, I mean, fun to work with. You know, he came up with a lot of great ideas too. There's those little moments, but there's one where he runs back to his daughter on the beach and he goes, whoa, whoa. And you know, it was not in the script. It was just a funny little thing that he did that we kind of came up with just to sort of keep things always a little bit light and a little bit interesting and just keep actors acting when they're not delivering lines. And there's a lot of moments like that in here, which I think keeps it charming and fun and kind of feels organic and natural. Is this one dying too?
No.
Okay. There you go.